Batting seventh and catching, number 23, Lily Oberhofer. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 16, Claire Brocious. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 2, Ari McClyman. Flex at shortstop, number 13, Cameron Tyson. Head coach for the Golden Eagles is Tyler Lang. Our umpires, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, Mike Kerr.
At third base, Jason Slater.
Well, a very pleasant good afternoon, softball fans. Welcome back to Day 3 of the 2026 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Softball Tournament, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. And you're watching live coverage on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Well, here we are into the semifinal round in Class 3A as the Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles, who have no losses at the state tournament, get set to battle the Van Meter Bulldogs, who need to beat the Golden Eagles twice to make it to the championship game in Class 3A. Once again, very pleasant good afternoon alongside Trent Condon, Daniel Versteg with you. Well, and these two teams played earlier in this tournament yesterday, Trent, and Wallert's got the leg up over Van Meter, beating them 7-2 yesterday. You have to imagine that's front of mind for the Bulldogs, and of course with Van Meter's season hanging in the balance now.
Absolutely. Pressure on Van Meter, knowing not just have to win this game, have to win one more to punch that ticket to the championship, but nerves probably settled down a little bit. You already know this team. Dubuque Wahlert came in as one of the major favorites in this 3A field, but Van Meter, they have their hopes on another championship, even moving up a class this season, but got to get it done here and set up the nightcap under the lights this evening.
Yeah, Van Meter's looking to three-peat after being a 2A champ twice. Wahlert made it to the championship game last year, runner-up. So one of their championship game appearance streaks will come to an end. Wahlert Catholic is getting ready to throw Natalie Ruba in the circle. She will be the junior pitcher for Wahlert Catholic. Heading into the state tournament, had an ERA under 2.5, an 11-4 record. Opposing batting average of .254. Another one of those really solid arms for this Wahlert Catholic offense, or Wahlert Catholic defense, against a Van Meter offense. And the Bulldogs will be ready to go, and they'll be hitting Maddie Schnell to start things off, one of the leaders for this Van Meter offense. Once we get something straightened out, looks like with the lineup card, as our home plate umpire is talking to the field manager here in Class 3A. And we'll see what they can figure out as the lineup gets shaken up a bit. I think it looks like Wahlert is already subbing in Julia Roth as the shortstop. Cameron Tyson was listed there as the flex, and Julia Roth is the DP. So Wahlert makes that change. They've had Roth and Tyson as the DP and flex most of the season. Yesterday they used it to have Roth pitch instead of Tyson. It's just one of those kind of flexibility things that is allowed, of course, in softball. That's kind of the difference. The big difference between baseball and softball is that you have the DP, and you can really manipulate your lineup a little bit more with the kind of substitutions you can do.
Yeah, the different kind of substitutions. If you think in the traditional sense, a designated hitter in baseball,
right.
And I think that's a lot of people. This flex position does give more flexibility. You mentioned the pitchers coming in and out in different varieties. I saw that earlier in this class, in the tournament over in Class 5A, where pitcher exited, used as the DP, still was hitting in there, then came back later into the game. So coaches, they like to manipulate and have a little bit of fun with it too.
And we're ready to go now, and the first pitch to Maddie Schnell misses for a ball. This one's underway. Again, the situation, if Wahlert wins this one, they'll play for the title on Friday. If Van Meter wins, we got to play these two teams again tonight. But already a slow start for Ruba. She's behind 2-0.
Other side of the bracket, we will get that one-loss versus one-loss matchup coming up here after the conclusion of this one, and that's the scene that Van Meter's trying to set for tonight.
And that's going to be Mount Vernon and Williamsburg. That is going to be a heck of a game tonight. And not quite able to locate the zone to start things off against a Van Meter offense that really does not need much help. Maddie Schnell in this group came into the state tournament with a team batting average of .420, almost 10 runs a game. And that misses. 4-pitch walk. Maddie Schnell, very patient in her first plate appearance, opens things up on base.
Saw the catcher back behind the plate setting up and on that outside corner, just missing the spots. Not by much, very close there, but now you have the dangerous Schnell on base.
Yeah, Schnell had 26 stolen bases prior to state tournament play. Now a bunt shown and a strike called to Ella Fennessy, the first baseman, who's batting second for the Bulldogs.
Another sophomore, Fennessy, came in batting .440 in the state tournament with 43 RBI. That leads the team.
She had a really nice regional tournament run, had 6 hits in the 3 regional games. This pitch is low, and going to second base, getting there safely is Maddie Schnell. An easy stolen base with that ball in the dirt. And the Bulldogs have a runner in scoring position right away.
Now decision time. You can play a little more small ball, try to get that runner to third, or look for a gapper and take a lead.
And all these coaches, they're going to use everything at their disposal when it comes to the strategy of moving your base runners around. Here's the bunt, and it's a beauty up the first baseline. Shovel with the glove from Ruba. Gets the out, but the bunt is effective, and on to third goes Schnell.
That play by Ruba, incredibly difficult. She made it look easy, but you saw that yellow was popping out of the glove a little bit. Just got enough to get it in the glove and then use that glove to flip it to first base in time.
Yeah, it's very easy for that softball to pop out of the glove if not executed correctly. But now here we go. You have the third baseman Klein playing in with the third baseman Corrados to the plate for Van Meter. And she takes a strike.
Another sophomore, 3 straight sophomores to begin the lineup. .471 batting average and a little bit of pop there. 6 home runs this year.
So you're suggesting these Van Meter Bulldogs might be back here again with that outstanding core at the top.
Good way to start off your lineup when you have
man.
3 underclassmen right away and a very deep and talented roster. Year after year, Van Meter's turned themselves into a power.
Yeah, they have been a state tournament contender, 5th tournament in a row under head coach James Flaws. 13th year as the head coach of the Bulldogs.
Man, you know that Flaws name if you know softball in Central Iowa.
Here's a bunt. It's a squeeze. Runner coming home, and Schnell scores. Van Meter small balls their way into a run, and the Bulldogs strike first.
Love the small ball there, and having the speed at third base with Schnell definitely helped out that decision there. More of a safety squeeze. Made sure that bunt got down before she darted to home, but had the wheels to get in.
So an RBI for Mara Corrados. She does her job. And now it's Jillian Wozmansky who takes a strike to open her at bat. So Wozmansky, one of those great pitchers that doesn't just throw the ball, she also hits the ball well. Out of the cleanup spot, this a bouncer up the middle. Nice play at second by Schultz. The return to first, not in time. Wozmansky beats it out, but the lead runner is put away for out number 2.
Schultz with a smart play there, understanding the chances of turning the double play. Going to be incredibly difficult as you're ranging into the hole. Made sure of getting a good throw to second base to get the lead runner.
And we'll also get a courtesy runner over at first base. Looks like it's Bristol Curran who will run for Wozmansky. That is an IMT Insurance courtesy runner. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT by visiting imtins.com. And again, it's Bristol Curran in for the Bulldogs. Here's Aniston Netton, and she watches strike 1 go by.
Curran, 32 stolen bases this year and 35 attempts.
Yeah, these Bulldogs have a lot of speed. They have triple-digit stolen bases this season. And now there she goes, and the pitch is swung at and fouled. So right on cue, she's looking to run, and that's what you got to do. You got to try and manufacture your own runs here because we know how hard it is to hit off of these outstanding pitchers that make the state tournament.
No doubt about it, and using the speed, that is something throughout this state tournament that has been impactful. All classes that I've seen so far this week.
Here's a fly ball. That's well struck. Left center field. That's all the way back to the wall. It is gone. Aniston Netton, a 2-run blast deep to left center. She goes the other way, and the Bulldogs take a 3-0 lead in the first.
Netton got the barrel out on that one and just towered it out there. The breeze has been changing here throughout the day here on day number 3 of the state tournament, but skyrocketed that thing. You look at launch angle, that was a perfect one there for Netton and really changed the complexion of this game early on.
Yeah, Van Meter, again, they're the team that is tasked with trying to win 2 games against Wahlert, and boy, they're jumping out into a great spot to do so. as Delaney Lifetog takes a pitch high. And, of course, Van Meter is in the non-enviable spot of having to win not just the 2 games against Wahlert, but they had to beat Albia earlier today to advance to this game. So they have to win 3 games today to get to the championship. So if they're going to earn a right to three-peat, they will certainly earn it over the next few hours.
Lifthog, the designated player, hitting in place of Emma Dia, the left fielder for Van Meter.
Here's the 2-0. That's just outside. And now Ruba having a tough time locating the zone for Wahlert, as the Golden Eagles have allowed 3 big runs right out of the get-go in this first inning. A walk and a couple of hits. A big one from Aniston Netton. And there's a strike to Lifetog.
Now you wonder about just coming in, kind of motivation, knowing for Wahlert, you're in here, you already have the 2-0 start to the tournament, and just how ready the girls are going to be right away.
Tapper back up the middle. Hard handle for Ruba. She does stick with it, and the 3rd out is recorded. So Van Meter jumps on the Golden Eagles right away. 3-run score, including a 2-run homer by Aniston Netton. And now it's Wallert's turn. They'll be facing off with Jillian Wozmansky coming up next on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Big 3-run start to this game for the Van Meter Bulldogs, and a clutch 2-run homer for Aniston Netton. And Van Meter came to play in their second game of the day. Now Wahlert Catholic will have their first chance as we welcome you back to our coverage of the state softball tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. With Trent Condon, I'm Daniel Versteg. Julia Roth watches strike 1 go by at the knees to open up the bottom of the first.
The Wahlert team certainly offensively has been able to put it together. Fell a game short of a championship a year ago, falling in the title tilt, and want to take one step further this year.
And they have the leg up, too. Here's a rocket into right center. It splits the gap and rolls to the wall. Roth to second. It's a stand-up double for the Golden Eagles shortstop. And Wahlert Catholic trying to give Van Meter a taste of its own medicine right away in the bottom of the first.
That was an incredibly difficult hit there to get that kind of barrel, that kind of power on a changeup. You saw, had the load, she was starting to go forward, but kept that bat back, and to get that kind of swing on a changeup, great work there from Roth.
Julia Roth, the power hitter all season, double-digit doubles and home runs all throughout the year. She'll be going to play at Iowa coming up next year. She is also Iowa's all-time career home run record holder, as the 1-0 misses down and away to Ruth Tauber, who certainly does a great job of following up the great at-bats of Julia Roth. And Roth, who is looking to come around and score from second and help Wahlert Catholic stage a bit of a comeback. 2-0 is high, and it's quickly 3-0 here to Tauber, as Wahlert looks to threaten to put another base runner on track.
Tauber now a .587 batting average on the year, slugging percentage over 1,000. How about this? OPS 1.66.
To put that into perspective, if your OPS is around 800, you're considered an elite hitter. Double that,
Yes.
and you're on another galaxy. I mean,
Unbelievable.
it's just ridiculous. video game numbers doesn't even do it justice. I don't know what video game would let you have an OPS of 1.6. Ruth Tauber, a base on balls on 5 pitches, and there are 2 aboard for Wahlert. They're a swing away from tying this up right away on the bottom of the first, and it's Addie Klein who might have a chance to do so. Klein, who's normally a really solid defender, will have the opportunity to show off what she can do with her bat. She fouls the first pitch.
We saw Van Meter in the first inning playing some small ball, but for Wahlert, they are swinging away, looking for those gaps.
Yeah, Wahlert, of course, who plays up in competition all year in the Mississippi Valley Conference. They're playing 5As and 4As all throughout the year, and that can only help when you get here to the state tournament. You've been battle-tested. You've been playing some good competition all year. As the 0-1 misses high, and now you're just basically playing the level of competition you've been playing all throughout the regular season.
Klein with 38 hits on the season, but 36 of them singles, a double and a triple.
Not the power, but certainly the consistency that you like in the heart of the order. And there's a strike as Klein falls behind. This is a good at-bat brewing for Wozmansky in the circle. She needs a quick out after a double and a walk to start her outing. And there is Jillian Wozmansky, the pitcher for Van Meter. One of 2 arms that the Bulldogs like to go to, both her and Aniston Netton. Wozmansky, the older of the 2, the junior. Netton just a freshman, so 2 arms that'll be back for Van Meter. They'll look to make another run here in Fort Dodge next year, too. 1-2 pitch. Line drive, center field. That's down. Base hit. They're getting the stop sign for Roth. And the bases are full of Golden Eagles here in the bottom of the first to set up the cleanup bat and Sadie Schultz.
Another hit for Klein, another single for Klein, and a perfectly placed ball there just past the infield in front of the center fielder to load up the bases.
Now, this could not be a better response for Wahlert after allowing a 3-spot to Van Meter to start this game. And now the infield plays in with a force play everywhere for Schultz. Lines it to short. The throw hits the umpire. Now here comes Roth to the plate, and she scores. A line out ends up scoring a run for Wahlert. The Golden Eagles break that 0 on the scoreboard.
Line up there, a double play potentially, but those are 1 bases loaded. You want to make sure of that throw. It gets away, and I don't know if it aided or hurt hitting the umpire there, because easily would have scored if it would have got past the umpire, led to a throw. That allows both the other runners also to advance up.
Yeah, now second and third, so well, Wahlert or Van Meter got exactly what they wanted with a line out, but it still brings in a run. Now this is tomahawked out to left center, and that's up against the wall. Ruba ties the game with a 2-run, 2-base hit, and it's 3 apiece in the first.
Ball got stuck out there in the fence. I was surprised the left fielder didn't throw her hands up there asking for that. Now it ended the way it would have regardless if it was considered by the umpire crew a ground rule double, getting stuck in the bottom of the fence there. But another great swing and really pushing it through here on what's not nearly as breezy as it's been the first couple of days of the state tournament.
Yeah, there have been some other days where, I mean, the ball is just flying out of these ballparks with how windy it's been, and now Lang grounds 1 to third. They look the runner back, and the throw to first is in time for out number 2. Excellent play there by Corrados to watch Ruba walk back to second, and now with 2 outs, it'll be Lily Oberhofer.
RBI opportunity still now with 2 outs, runner at second base, and trying to dent the scoreboard again, down 3-0. Kind of wondered where Wallert's head was, but they have come out, and the bats are hot.
It's be Cale Murphy to run courtesy runner for Ruba. She's got to get ready to pitch in the next inning. So Murphy takes over on the base paths, and yeah, that's a good point too. The whole, you get hit with 3 runs in the top of the first, and how do you respond? Well, Wahlert had no problem with that, scoring 3 runs in the bottom of this inning. Here's Oberhofer, who watches the ball miss high. Lily Oberhofer, a junior, not been the best season from a hitting standpoint for her, but a few hits here in Fort Dodge would certainly put all of that away. As this misses as well, and she's ahead 2-0.
Does have 4 doubles out of her 16 hits so far on the season. A little bit of pop in that bat.
And she did go 1 for 3 yesterday in the win over Van Meter, a 7-2 win that put the Bulldogs in this elimination half. This is an inside pitch swung at and fouled off. Yeah, both Van Meter and Wahlert won their openers, both via a run rule as well. Wahlert had beaten West Delaware 9-1. Van Meter, the 6th seed, knocked off 3rd-seeded Albia big time, 10-2 in a run rule there. Floater to short. What a leaping catch by Vaught. And the inning comes to an end. So both sides get 3 to open the first inning of play. And so we'll go to the second. Still knotted up. Not the way we thought it would be, but we're still getting there anyway. Second inning coming up next on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Back to Fort Dodge at Iowa Central Field here at the Harlan and Hazel Rogers Softball Park with Trent Condon, Daniel Versteeg with you. 1 inning complete. Van Meter and Wahlert each put up 3 runs in the first inning. And now will the pitchers start settling in? A good start for Natalie Ruba here in the second, a strike to Ashlyn Small. Now that's the big question now. Pitchers who have given up 3 runs, how do they have a response in this big part of the game when you want to try and keep the bats down? Ruba's off to a great start, now ahead 0-2.
Use the changeup there on that pitch, getting her out in front. We'll see how much more pitch mix we see here in the second inning.
Way outside, trying to get her to chase. This is the bottom third of the Van Meter order. It'll be Small, Vaught, and Pillar who will get things going for the Bulldogs in the second. 1-2. Fouled it off. Good battle. Van Meter was sparked big time by the 2-run homer by Aniston Netton. Inning started with a walk from Maddie Schnell, and that put the Bulldogs in a good spot to be able to get going with their offensive output. And now Small trying to do the same in the second. Waits on it and lines it into right center field. That's a base hit. Went the other way, and Small starts the second with a solid single.
Saw that a little bit earlier on those off-speed pitches, keeping that weight back, being able to still get that thing barreled up. And those are ones where, you're a bit fooled. It's not about going out there, throttling the ball as hard as you can. Make solid contact, and good things are going to happen.
And here's Vaught. Shows a bunt and takes a strike. And when you have teams at the state tournament, you're always kind of worried about the nerves and the jitters. Well, now it's day 3. This has just become a regular kind of weekend tournament feel, so to speak. And you can settle into what you do best as the 0-1 misses.
440 batting average this year for Ivy Vaught. 10 doubles and a triple also.
It's not bad to have in your 8 spot. Ivy Vaught taking back in, and she hits a fly ball out to right center. Pretty easy play for Ruth Tauber, and she has it under control for the first out of the inning. And so we're back to the 9 spot, Brooklyn Pillar, who is just an 8th grader in this Van Meter offense. Very limited plate appearances this year. She only has a little over 40 at-bats this season, but has made the most of those at-bats, hitting around 500. And that has continued here at the state tournament. She watches the first pitch, catch the zone for a strike.
4 extra base hits. You mentioned those limited at-bats. 37 now through the state tournament, the first couple of games, but 18 RBI and 37 at-bats.
Shows a bunt, drops a beauty out in front of the plate, and her speed can't quite get her safe. She is out at first. Good play at third by Addie Klein charging in. But the bunt does move Ashlyn Small to second. Van Meter, a runner in scoring position with the top of the order, set to bat next. And now there is a discussion happening with James Flaws, the head coach, and the home plate umpire, and that discussion does not change anything about the play. So here's Maddie Schnell back to the top of the order. Coach Flaws putting his eggs in the basket of the top of the order to see if she can come through. Half swing and miss, a sword for Schnell, and she's down 0-1.
Schnell a little bit shaking her head on that one.
Yeah, you get at a certain point, you think you second guess your swing, but by that point it's a little too late. Ground ball sharply to second. That's taken by Schultz, and the inning is over. So a leadoff base hit does not come back to haunt Natalie Ruba and the Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles. We are tied at 3, going to the bottom of the second. And Wahlert will have 8, 9, and 1 next on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Nothing doing for Van Meter in the top of the second. Now the Bulldog defense trying to make sure the same is the case for Wahlert in the bottom half as Claire Brocious takes a strike. And the second inning is underway. Claire Brocious, Ari McClyman, Julia Roth, the 8, 9, and 1 for the Golden Eagles, who again have the upper hand in this matchup. They have no losses at the state tournament. Van Meter has one. As Brocious takes low, meaning the onus is on Van Meter to win 2 games. Wahlert Catholic just needs 1 win in a possible 2 games.
I know waiting if Van Meter can pull off this win. Likely Julia Roth is who they'd have to see tonight.
Yeah, I would have no doubt that Roth is going to get that opportunity. She is a strong pitcher, as we've seen already, for the Class 3A bracket, and one that a lot of hitters have feared having to go up against. Brocious behind in the count, 1-2, as Wozmansky now tries to settle in. This is popped up. That is a can of corn for Jillian Wozmansky out in front of the pitcher circle, and it's out number 1.
So I use the term, you use the term can of corn. Do you actually know what it means?
I did hear a meaning here about 2 months ago.
Okay.
I've since forgotten it.
Okay.
So I don't know why you would try and catch a ball with a can of corn if that's where that came from.
Is it the simplicity of it? Is corn a simple food? A lot of confusion, yet I use the exact same term.
It's a baseball term, so it's 130 years old probably, and my grandpa said it, my great-grandpa said it, and so on and so forth. It's McClyman as she shoots it off the end of the bat foul. And baseball's got a lot of those, and softball and all the stick and ball sports have the same kind of silly terminology that we've all adopted. That's why these sports are the best.
McClyman good at the bottom of the order, .312 batting average.
Trying to come through with a big hit here for Wahlert and get something started in the second. And she does smack one out to right. Netton has to go back on it. She's right there. And that's an easy play for out number 2.
Perfect, fundamentally sound defense there. Took that first step back, tracked the ball very well. What could have been a problem she made look really easy out there and right.
And especially, as you've alluded to a couple of times, Trent, all the wind that we've seen this week, we've seen fielders have to go back and then come forward, and then they have to go back again because they can't read the wind very well. And Netton knew exactly where she needed to go and made a great play. So here's Roth, and she takes outside. Well, Roth's double started the scoring for Wahlert, that 3-run first inning. And her power continues to be so impressive. And Jillian Wozmanski trying to limit her. This is smashed. Left field and deep. And the home run queen adds to her legacy. Julia Roth. Solo blast. That might have gotten out of Rogers Park through that gate. And Julia Roth puts the Golden Eagles up 1.
Just keeps adding to that one, and there was no fooling. We mentioned back her first hit of the game. It was a changeup. She was a little bit fooled, but still powered it to right center field. This time, there was no fooling. A blast.
Center fielder, number 17.
I don't even know if Day moved out there and left. I wouldn't have. That thing had no chance of staying in the ballpark. Julia Roth, massive home run, and the first pitch to Tauber misses for a ball. We mentioned that Julia Roth is Iowa's new all-time home run record holder. Came into the state tournament with 75 for her high school career. And now this one's popped up, foul out of play.
Number 19 of the season.
Yeah,
mentioned that career mark.
Just keeps adding to it. She had not had a home run at the state tournament yet prior to that one. A couple of her teammates had. As this one's a changeup. That's sent right back where it came from. And the Golden Eagles continue to tee off on Jillian Wozmanski. Ruth Tauber with a missile right into center.
Again, against the changeup, it is not fooling these Wahlert hitters. They've done a great job identifying that out of the hand, keeping the weight back, and you saw it now for the third time through this lineup that they've been able to hit that changeup hard.
And that is going to prompt a change in the circle as the freshman Aniston Netton gets herself ready to pitch coming in from right field. And Van Meter will make a couple of changes here. I believe that's Lainey Newhart that's going to go to the outfield for the Bulldogs. As Aniston Netton, the freshman, takes over. She's been doing a lot of the pitching here this week for Van Meter. Netton, who came into state tournament play, an ERA under 2.5. Phenomenal pitcher. She had pitched all 3 games of the state tournament as an 8th grader last year, leading to Van Meter's second straight 2A state championship. So you've got a freshman in the circle who has all of that experience pitching. That is incredibly valuable for Coach Flaws and the Bulldogs.
And for Van Meter, of course, this is an elimination game, so there's not anything holding back. You got to go out there right away, make the change, go back to your ace in Netton. This is just her 4th appearance, though, out of the bullpen, her 27th overall, 23 of them starts, 4th time coming out of the pen.
And this is the opposite of how things went for Van Meter and Wahlert yesterday. Netton got the start. Got lit up early, allowed 3 hits and 3 runs, and then Jillian Wozmanski came in to finish the ball game, went the last 4 2/3. Still allowed 8 hits and 4 runs there in relief, did Wozmanski, but now Netton will be replacing Wozmanski, the inverse of what happened on Tuesday as we get all of the changes taken care of. All kinds of defensive substitutions that Coach Flaws made. Trying to make sure they get still the best lineup behind a really good pitcher in Netton, who was a first-team all-conference selection in that West Central Activities Conference as an 8th grader last year. But she's facing a heart of the order now for Wahlert. She inherits a base runner on with 2 outs. And a hitter in Addie Klein, who's just kind of hanging out, waiting to hit, getting some practice swings in there.
And conversation continuing over near the third base dugout. See one of the Wahlert coaches over there. Probably also making sure that the lineup is, he has everything correct.
Making sure all the rosters are matching and things like that too. So now that our umpires and coaches have gotten that taken care of, Addie Klein will hit. Ruth Tauber at first for the Golden Eagles, who have their first lead of this game. Klein takes up and in. Can sense a little bit more velo. You highlighted the off speed from Wozmanski. Netton blazes that fastball by you.
Absolutely. And Speed is one thing, got to have off speed, certainly at this level at the state tournament. But yeah, you're talking about probably 5-6 mile an hour difference between what we saw before.
So you're in second gear, you got to shift up to third gear, and as a hitter, be ready to go right away.
Klein all the way back in the batter's box.
Big cut and a miss. Went after one, and now it's 1-2. And that time she tried to time up that fastball. I think she was just late. Not by much. Netton trying to put the inning away. Leave it to just the one run. Her 1-2. Got her swinging. Well, that is the pick-me-up the Van Meter defense needed. Aniston Netton stops the bleeding in the second. But Wahlert Catholic, stop me if you've heard this one before. A Julia Roth home run gives them the lead in the second. We go to the third next. Van Meter with 2, 3, and 4 set to bat on the Girls Union Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
And we are back with the third inning of play as Fennessy swings and misses at the first pitch. Here on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Daniel Verstang alongside Trent Condon and the rest of our great crew here in Fort Dodge. As Fennessy fouls one, she's quickly behind against Natalie Ruba. And, well, we talked about if Wahlert ends up in the second game here, that we're likely going to see Julia Roth pitching. But now the Golden Eagles and Coach Lang have that opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to let Ruba go as long as she can. This is the one that gets us started. As long as she's got an advantage, why not ride her out and give some more break for Roth?
Absolutely. That is something, and when you have multiple pitchers that you're confident with, that goes a long way.
Here's a ground ball to short. And that is an easy play. Put away at short by Roth, the aforementioned shortstop who turns away Ella Fennessy. And with one gone in the third, it's Mara Corrados.
Ranging back into the hole over towards the left field line. And long throw when you're making your way back there, but with the strength as we know that she has, definitely made it look easy.
And see, she's got strength to burn as Corrados takes outside. I mean, whoever was in the way of that poor softball out there in the left field concourse area was certainly going to find that out if they ended up in the way of it. Might be one of the longer home runs I've seen hit on this field. There have been some majestic ones hit here, and that certainly adds to that list.
And the breeze is moving in a touch against us, too.
Yeah. That's insane. The 2-0 is just missing. A bit low there, and Corrados now ahead 3-0.
Corrados already with an RBI, looking to help the team out, and now Van Meter playing for the first time from behind at the plate.
Yeah, that was that bunt she dropped down to score Schnell, and now she takes a strike. So now is when probably the back comes off the shoulders for Corrados. When you're behind, you really don't want to swing at those 3-0 pitches. But now 3-1, she is swinging and just a bit out in front of it. And she shoots it foul down the left field line.
Says hello to Coach Flaws on the way by. Those coaches, though, in the third base box, I don't know if it's something of honor where you don't react when it goes whizzing by. I'll tell you, I coach my daughter's youth team, and I'm hopping out of there.
I would be, too. I would be cowering in fear. There's another one over to Coach Flaws, and he just turns it away. Because this is not practice where you got an L screen to help you out. It's just you and the batter.
Coach Flaws has taken Van Meter. They had never made the state tournament before he arrived. Now 6.
And a strikeout there. Good pitch from Natalie Ruba as she retires. Mara Corrados looking on 7 pitches. First strikeout for Ruba. And now it's Jillian Wozmansky's turn.
Number 6, Julie Wozmansky.
So Wozmansky, who reached on a fielder's choice, first time up, beating out a potential double play ball. And she takes one off the plate. And thank goodness she did, because had she not, Aniston Netton would not have had the opportunity to hit her home run. That ended up being a very important play. That one runs high and in, and it's 2-0. When you get here to state and when your season's on the line, all those little things become that much more impactful. And you want to make sure that you are playing up to your par and exceeding it sometimes. Now 3-0 to Wozmansky.
Wozmansky batting .461 on the season. Also has a couple of home runs and 11 doubles this year.
Bulldogs would love one of those extra base hits here. Yes, they'll take a walk. 4-pitch walk. Second one issued by Natalie Ruba. This one comes with 2 outs, and now here is Aniston Netton. She will hit in just a moment after. Well, are we going to get a runner for Wozmansky? Yeah. She's not the pitcher anymore, so she doesn't get that courtesy.
Maybe a little bit early in the game. Of course, substitution, re-entry is allowed.
Yeah, so she had been courtesy run for already. So now this will be a pinch runner, and it is another IMT Insurance pinch runner. Or no, you can be worry-free with IMT by visiting imtins.com. And that is the sophomore Elizabeth Aylen to run for Van Meter.
Just 1 stolen base this year for Aylen. And also probably a time with that re-entry rule. Going to hold maybe one of your more speedy players for a little bit later in the game. Or players that maybe not even in terms of speed, just have more experience out there on the base pass.
Swing and miss for Netton to start this at-bat. Coach Flaws mentioned that Netton always makes sure she gives her best effort. And as a youngster, that is certainly a good example for the kids coming up, the 8th graders, the other freshmen that she shares the field with. And one that the Bulldogs can really rally behind when she's pitching or when she's hitting. Here's the 1-1. And that's down. 2-1.
Netton had the home run. We talked about the launch angle that came off that one. Just kind of skied it in the air. Hit that one perfectly. Feels confident up there and the count in her favor.
And if she does it again, Bulldogs would have the lead. Taps a foul.
Smart pitch there from Ruba. Knew what happened the last time up. Went with that changeup and had her well out in front.
Yeah, I think the impressive part of Netton's home run was it was hit to the opposite field and left. She had to hit it even harder than she might have to pull one and still was able to get it over the fence. The pitch. Now she tries to go the other way again and sends one foul.
200 down the lines, 200 to straightaway center field here.
Yeah, it is a hard field to hit out of sometimes. You kind of have to have the right conditions or, of course, the right player. Netton takes down and away. I know some softball diamonds I go to, it might be 200 into center, 210 to center, but then down the line you can get down to 180 and ends up making for maybe a more favorable home run hitting experience. 3-2 to Netton. That's fouled. This is a good battle. Pitch number 8 upcoming between Ruba and Netton. Now pitching counterparts in this one. Again, Netton with a 2-run homer. Her first time up was 0-2 down in that count. Big time when she hit the home run. Now with the count full, another payoff pitch. And a fly ball, shallow right center. And coming in to make the catch, Ari McClyman. And the inning comes to an end. Van Meter's 2-out base runner stuck at first. So we go to the bottom of the third. Wahlert Catholic with a 1-run advantage on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Back to Fort Dodge and the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy with Trent Condon. I'm Daniel Versteg. In this very important matchup late in the Class 3A state tournament, if Wahlert wins, they'll play in the championship on Friday. If Van Meter wins, we've got the nightcap tonight between the Golden Eagles and the Bulldogs as Sadie Schultz takes the ball down and in to open her at bat. This is the middle third of the Wahlert order. 4, 5, and 6, starting off with Sadie Schultz. And a hard line out to shorter, first time up in inning number 1. And that pitch is high. It's 2-0.
Run came in on that play as the throw to third base got away from the third baseman, hit off the umpire, but still allowed a run to score.
Yeah, how many times do you score on a line out? Wahlert got that done. And that built a 3-run game, or 3-run inning, I should say. It's taken high as well, 3-0. We already are going to have that if-necessary game on the top half of this bracket after Williamsburg got done beating Mount Vernon 6-0. Williamsburg had 1 loss. Mount Vernon had no losses, so they will play again to figure out who gets eliminated out of that portion of the bracket as Sadie Schultz walks her way aboard on 4 pitches.
Well, don't know the exact numbers of a leadoff walk and how often they come around, but boy, it feels like it happens a ton. As a coach, they'll say it happens all the time.
Heard an old coach say 75%, but I also don't know what he's basing that off of.
Is that more feeling or actual
exactly. Math? I think that's some old guy math that's probably leading into that. He probably wanted to say 100% like you talked about. But yeah, it does feel like leadoff walks, gosh, they really sting. And Wallert's trying to make sure this one hurts badly for Jillian Wozmansky, for Aniston Netton, replacing Wozmansky. And that misses high.
Now, in Major League Baseball, it happens roughly 37% of the time.
Oh, okay. All right. So you got the big boys getting it done a third of the time. Yeah, that's a lot lower than I thought it'd be.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have a conversation taking place. Netton has missed with 6 straight pitches. And unfortunately, now you're talking about not just a leadoff walk, but 2 leadoff walks, which really ups your chances in scoring a run. See what Coach Flaws and his pep talk does for Netton, trying to calm her down here against Natalie Ruba.
Wozmansky can come back in on the pitcher bump if she decides to go that direction. Coach Flaws decides to go that way. The third pitcher that's been used the most this season for Van Meter is Ella Fennessy, the sophomore, who's made 6 appearances this year.
And just 9 innings thrown. That would be quite a jump for Van Meter. And there's a strike. So after 7 pitches out of the zone, Netton has dialed one in, and we'll see if that leads to more. So 3-1. And the pitch is hit the other way, right center. That is off the top of the fence and gone. Wow, that thing got out of there in a hurry. Natalie Ruba with a 2-run homer that barely cleared the fence and right. It was hit so low. The second home run for the Golden Eagles puts them up 3.
Big swing there, and that thing didn't get more than 12 feet off the air. You talk about a line shot. That's exactly what it was from Ruba. Went with the pitch there, didn't try to pull it, used that to her advantage, and absolutely drilled it.
A missile for Ruba. She's driven in 4 of the 6 Wahlert Catholic runs in this game already, with a double and a homer.
Number 18, Haley Lang.
And for Natalie Ruba, another big swing for the junior who had 4 home runs entering the state tournament. Ruba had one earlier this week in the victory over West Delaware. That was on Monday. Her second home run of state tournament play. So now Netton having to respond, and the pitch misses in the dirt. So 2-0 here to Haley Lang.
On the leadoff walk, scores on the home run again.
Yes.
Again, that was where Major League Baseball numbers at 37%.
Right.
High school level definitely feels like it's much higher.
It feels much higher, yeah. The thing about once you get to the higher levels, they don't like doing that bunting stuff.
Right.
The bunting's very effective in bringing runs in.
Yep.
Of course, when you have a hitter like Natalie Ruba, the philosophy of why bunt certainly works as Lang takes a strike. Well, that's the second home run of the state tournament for Natalie Ruba, her 6th of the season. And like Coach Lang said to us leading into the tournament, she has just kept getting better and better and better. And boy, if she continues to get better, the championship game is going to be really fun to watch as Haley Lang reaches on another walk. Second base on balls for Aniston Netton. And something's got to change as the bottom third of the order comes up.
Oberhofer at the plate, hit it hard, but a line out on a leaping grab over there at shortstop. DeVaught. He's played a nice defensive game over there for Van Meter.
She's had a couple lineouts today. And now the bunt right back to the pitcher, and Netton takes charge of that one to throw out Oberhofer at first base. Lang goes to second. And Wahlert has a runner in scoring position as Claire Brocious, the left fielder, set to hit again.
Been fun here watching the state tournament and the different defensive systems that we've seen being employed. Some have gone to that first base staying home, second base coming way in. Some teams bring everybody close up there when they know a bunt or anticipate a bunt's coming. A lot of defensive strategies out there.
Yeah, it used to be the rotation was always the first baseman comes in and then the second baseman, it was their responsibility to cover that bunt. But yeah, that has changed, I think. Here, maybe this year, the last couple of years, I've seen second baseman standing almost right next to the pitcher this week is how close they're coming in. That one misses outside.
Well, and I kind of like the theory behind that. Your first baseman usually a big target over there. That second baseman, so many times they're running, trying to find the bag, something that they don't do very often, and it's something that I think makes a whole lot of sense of having that second baseman up.
2-0. And the other thing I know also plays into a factor with the second baseman sliding over is you're trying to hit a moving target.
Yes, yep.
As a thrower, and that becomes a problem too. You can tell them just throw it to the base, but the mentality of that is not always easy to fix. That catches the zone. And, well, these have been some long at-bats for Aniston Netton. Too many free passes allowed. The one has already come around to the home run by Ruba. And now with a count 3-1. Brocious in a hitter's count, swings and lines it off of Netton. Tough play at second, Small cannot make the play. Brocious has herself an infield hit, and there are runners on the corners with one out for the right fielder, Ari McClyman.
Saw Brocious right out of the box, know that she hit it hard, but she came out burning and got up that line very quickly to make that an infield single.
Good effort trying to back up the play by Ashlyn Small. And now they're on the corners for McClyman. Flew out to right, her first time up. And you've got Roth on deck. Oh, that hits her. And the bases are loaded. And here comes Julia Roth with 76 high school home runs. Of course, in Iowa, you can play in your 8th grade season. Technically, the United States high school record book does not recognize their home runs, so she has 72 from her freshman to senior seasons. Either way, she is Iowa's home run leader all time. She's going to be a Hawkeye next year. And here she comes again, taking upstairs.
Breaking the record from Ankeny Centennial's Kendall Lindemann, who left the state, started her career at Minnesota, and ended up at Florida, is where she finished her career. Great to see somebody staying home, playing for the Hawkeyes, and playing. We got four great in-state programs at the Division I level, and happy to see that as a fan of the state of Iowa.
Yes, absolutely. They play some great softball at both Iowa, Iowa State, UNI, and Drake. Had some great softball seasons last few years. James Flaws is using this time to talk to all 9 defenders. That is the Van Meter defense right on your screen there, trying to figure things out with the bases loaded and trying to keep Wahlert Catholic from blowing this game open. Of course, you worry about, especially if Roth does what she's been known to do in hitting home runs, then you start worrying about a run rule situation in this one. And if you're going to go down in the state tournament, you certainly want to go down fighting all 7 innings. But the infield play's in. Force play is on. And Roth looking to do damage. This is foul.
It's a touch behind on that fastball. Talked about Denton, a little more velocity.
Now it's 1-1. Of course, you might think about intentionally walking her if you had a base open, but you don't. Another foul back from Roth. Although if there's anybody that might deserve the Barry Bonds treatment or Josh Hamilton got one of those not too long ago, I think it would probably be Julia Roth.
Problem is with Tauber waiting behind her.
Yeah, pick your poison. You got to pitch to one of them. That's in the dirt. A good start to this at-bat from Netton. She's certainly been better at attacking the zone here against Roth. She's gotten it even at 2-2. This is the first hitter that's gotten to a 2-strike count this inning. This is the 7th hitter that's come up to bat. Bases juiced. That's fouled back. I think she just got underneath it.
You just missed on that swing, and those are the ones you're talking to yourself as you're moving out of the batter's box. Know you're close now, just trying to square one up.
Here we go. Roth, still a very powerful bat. Can she come through again? Another foul, and that's the tough part about Roth is some power hitters are kind of boom or bust. And there's no bust in this swing by Julia Roth. She will, if she doesn't hit a home run, she's going to hit it somewhere else and still have a massive impact. 2-2. High and outside, and now the count is full.
It's got to be frustrating for Netton. She's known she's thrown a bunch of good pitches in there and still battling.
Massive pitch. If Van Meter wants to stay in this one. Netton's payoff. Swing and a foul tip. Just barely got a piece of it.
Netton just took a big, deep breath. She thought she had her, thought she had won the battle, and now she's got to go right back to her again, full count.
The 9th pitch of an intense at-bat. Here it is. This is smashed. Left center, and it's off the top of the wall. Lang scores. Oberhofer rounds third, and she scores a 2-run double. The 3rd extra base hit of the game for Julia Roth. And it's 8-3 Golden Eagles in the 3rd.
You talk about a player that is locked in, and that is Roth. I mean, Netton gave it everything that she had. Some of her best pitches, fastball, rise ball, drop ball, going with the change. She tried everything, and finally waiting, getting that pitch, and Roth delivers again.
Expect nothing less from an outstanding hitter, as the first pitch now to Tauber is a strike. That is also a Channel Seed extra base hit. The Enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. So Tauber behind in this count. And the pitch to her is high and in. A walk and a hit for Tauber so far. She scored a run. That came in the first inning after a double from Natalie Ruba. Second and third. Golden Eagles already with 4 in this inning. Oh, a comebacker back to the circle. They go to first. The ball's dropped, and there is no out on the play. The run scores, and the Golden Eagles are up 6.
You saw it right away as that throw was going over to first base in Fennessy. She just poked the head up for a moment, looking up, knowing that that runner was going to home, trying to make the throw, but it pops out, and that is a tough one to swallow.
And now our umpiring crew is going to talk about this one. And I wonder if the umpires are coming together, wondering if she dropped the ball on a transfer maybe into her bare hand. If that is the case, then the batter should be out. But our umpire deemed that to not be the case. She is safe. So that was not on the transfer. That was a straight drop at first. And now the 9th hitter of the Wahlert Catholic third will bat. It is Addie Klein.
Definitely understand Coach Flaws on that one because you can certainly argue that point. Yes. I do think the umpires, though, did get that right. We know that play when you see that transfer and that ball was coming out before, though the hand was going there, it was popping out of the glove as opposed to the transfer that you normally see.
Yeah, I think the right call there from our umpiring crew, who's been stellar so far. Klein, that pitch gets away from the catcher, and now it's Roth coming to score. And going to third base, Tauber takes 2 on the wild pitch. Heads up base running for Wahlert Catholic, and the Golden Eagles lead by 7.
Just keep stacking it on, and that is just smart fundamentals of softball, understanding going to be possibly, potentially a play at the place. Tauber not happy with second. I'm going to take third.
Outstanding base running. Here comes Wahlert Catholic pulling away from Van Meter with a 7-run advantage, 6 coming in the third. And here is Nettens. 1-0 pitch. That's inside. The inning that unfortunately comes in a nightmare for Van Meter. The Bulldogs just cannot work their way out of this mess.
9th batter of the inning already and just 1 out.
That's foul. Yeah, you've been batting so long. You've got the cleanup hitters in the middle of your order coming up again. They're the ones that started all of this with Sadie Schultz's walk, Natalie Ruba's homer. Haley Lang had a walk that followed the big fly, so these guys have been making it hurt. 2-1 pitch. There's a strike. That evens the count. So this is another 2-strike count. Just the second hitter that's had one out of the 9 that have come up for Wahlert. Ground ball, weakly hit left side. They're coming home, and they got the runner. Tauber hung up. They throw back to third. She's in safe now to second base, and she's in there. No tag was applied. Addie Klein reaches. No outs recorded. No runs scored. And now the 10th hitter comes up in Sadie Schultz.
Another great base running decision by Tauber. We talk about her going first to third on the wild pitch. Now here, had just the right kind of lead, saw that throw home, retreated quickly, and she also had the speed to do it. Yes. And that's the other part that you have to have. It's not just being a smart base runner. You have to have the wheels to follow it up, and she definitely showed it there.
Wahlert bats around here in the third. And now Schultz takes high. Tauber certainly has all 5 tools and then some for this Golden Eagle team, who's put 6 on the board here in the third. That's off the plate. It's 2-0. Schultz 4-pitch walk in the first plate appearance of this inning, an inning that the Bulldogs cannot get out of. And that is low. 3-0.
Now, do you subscribe to the theory that the 10th batter has to come up in order to consider it being hitting through the lineup? Some people say that you have to get to that 10th batter. 9 is not enough. I disagree. Right. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't have a solid argument.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yes,
if you bat 9, they call it batting through. 10 is batting around.
Yep.
Yeah. I like to say if you hit 9, you bat it around. I think that's a good way to put it. And now this is something that you were talking about earlier, Trent, going back to Wozmanski. You've got that opportunity with one substitution allowed, and well, this will be an opportunity to potentially, again, give Wahlert a different look. It just hasn't been Netton's day in the circle.
And Netton, the one thing that you definitely see from her numbers, as great as they have been, she has had a little bit more struggles with command. 68 walks on the season, has also hit 10 batters this year. Where on the other side, different for Wozmanski. She is one that definitely finds the plate, knows it incredibly well, has walked just 12 batters all season long. So you know she's going to be up there firing strikes.
So the changes around it. Day goes back to left, Netton goes to right, and Wozmanski comes in to pitch for Aniston Netton, who just again could not quite make her way around a tough situation. A couple of walks in this inning have really hurt the cause. And now we will see if Netton can find herself some legs in the field. Wozmanski, can she get this second and third out that have been brutal? The fortunate part for her now for Wozmanski is if she fires ball 4, she only throws 1 pitch and gets charged with a walk.
And that doesn't seem very fair, does it?
I know.
But the other side, you get a strikeout if you come in with 2 strikes.
I guess it's the give and take, so to speak, of relief arms midway through the at-bat. But, yeah, this is kind of an awkward place to come in. The count is already 3-0 here to Sadie Schultz as Jillian Wozmanski inherits this problem here. And we'll try and find the answer to it. So we're ready to go. 3-0 to Schultz. Wozmanski's pitch does catch the zone. So she started the comeback effort here for Aniston Netton. And now trying to see if she can finish the inning, finish the batter at least on a high note. 3-1. Line shot, just foul. And the count's full.
And they're exactly what you expect from Jilly Wozmanski, coming in, throwing strikes.
She did that pretty good earlier. A lot of her strikes were hit, but she was still being competitive. 3-2 to Schultz, the payoff. It's low, ball 4, so she does end up walking Schultz, throwing 3 of the 6 pitches in that plate appearance. 1 ball and 2 strikes she threw. And now here's Ruba. Ruba's had a very great game. 2 for 2, double homer, total of 4 RBIs for Ruba. And she's got a possible, if she hits a grand slam, she's got a possible 4 more. This one's high.
Started the state tournament with 35 RBI, up to 41 now on the season, including 4 here today.
Well, that's a solid season for a 5-hole hitter. Hitting behind all of the hitters that she does, it's impressive there's any base runners left for her to drive in half the time. This off-speed pitch is in there for a strike. Really slow change from Wozmanski, going back to what she was doing earlier, and steals a strike.
Now that changeup we saw earlier had a little bit more velocity than that one. That looked like maybe an old school flip change there, and dropped it in.
Down and in, and again, the base is loaded. There's nowhere to put Ruba. You gotta pitch to her in some form. Try and get a ground out, fly out, something to go your way. A third inning that just will not end for Van Meter. Oh, this is smashed to the left field corner. It is a foul ball.
Inches away from extra bases again from Ruba and adding to that RBI total.
Ruba's 2-2 now in the count. And, yeah, maybe 5-6 inches away from 2 to 3 more runs driven in and her third extra base hit of the game. Two and two. Big pitch from Wozmanski, and that's lined. That one is foul as well.
Well, I said the first one was inches. This might have been an inch.
If that. That was close.
Love, though, here at the state tournament, we have the 3 umpire crew and ability right there on the line, not behind the plate like we normally do during the regular season, having somebody right there, and he had a great look at it.
He was staring right at it. Our third base umpire calls it foul, and Ruba has now been maybe a combined 7 inches away from 2 extra base hits. Once again, the 2-2. Off speed, and she hammers right at the left fielder. Day catches, tagging from third. Tauber scores. A sac fly for Ruba. And the Golden Eagles go up by 8. Natalie Ruba drives in her 5th run of the game.
Tauber again showing that great base running we've talked about throughout this entire broadcast. Very smart, saw it on the line, tagged up, and was easily able to score.
So here's Haley Lang. And with 2 on, 2 out, first pitch a strike. It's the 7th run of the Wahlert Catholic third inning. And this is now the 12th hitter to bat in the third. An inning that moves along in favor of the Golden Eagles, and that pitch misses low. So Wahlert has put their foot firmly on Van Meter's throat and now needs to finish the job to advance to the championship game played Friday evening at 5 o'clock. The 1-1. Ground ball right side to second base for Small, and the play is made for the third out of the inning. Finally, Van Meter gets out of it, but not before. Wahlert scores 7 runs in the bottom half of the third. They're up by 8 going to the 4th. You're watching the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
7 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 2 left on base, 3 walks, hit batter. When all's said and done, it's a big Wahlert Catholic lead by a margin of 11-3 after 3 here on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy with Trent Condon. I'm Daniel Versteg and the rest of our great crew here in Fort Dodge. So as it's looking right now, of course, a lot can change. We still have a possible 4 more innings to play in regulation, but as of right now, it looks like there will be just 1 more game in the Class 3A bracket prior to the championship as Delaney Leiftaug digs in, and she takes a strike. It's been a while since Natalie Ruba has pitched in this game after watching and helping the Bats make some great contact in the third. But now she is tasked with pitching again as she misses in the dirt and trying to shut down a Van Meter offense that has struggled after their outburst of 3 runs in the top of the first. That's low to make it 2-1.
Dubuque Wahlert making their 6th appearance here at the state tournament.
And impressive what Wahlert has done under head coach Tyler Lang. As that misses outside. Lang has been the head coach of the Golden Eagles for 5 years now. This is the 5th year in a row that Wahlert has qualified for state in 2021. Prior to Coach Lang taking over, Wahlert went 2-30. And he has turned this program around. This hot shot speared at short by Roth for out number 1.
Liftog's got to be talking to herself, making her way back. I mean, you can't hit it much better than that, and you're sitting in the dugout with your teammates.
So a line out for Liftog, 1 gone here in the 4th. And yeah, that's why softball is such a cruel, cruel sport at times. You can hit it on the screws, and you still will get out. Here's Ashlyn Small. Takes a strike to open this at bat. And now this one is in there, and it's 0-2.
Ruba very comfortable with that changeup. She throws it, and you see comes out exactly the same out of the hand. It's just the speed difference.
There's a swing and miss. 3-pitch strikeout as Ruba makes it look easy. Her 2nd K of the game, and it'll be the shortstop, Ivy Vaught.
Van Meter, this is their 7th appearance. Mentioned back-to-back state championships at the 2A level. Now moving up here to the 3A level.
And ground ball to second, mishandled, and the throw is late. That'll be an error. Ivy Vaught gets on to open things with 2 outs here in the 4th, but a fielding error, the first one of the game for Wahlert. And now they'll bring up Brooklyn Pillar for Van Meter. First pitch to her is taken for a strike. Pillar, who was listed as the catcher, but Liftog's been doing that, the designated player for Van Meter. And a swing and miss quickly. Pillar behind 0-2.
How about this in your debut at the varsity level, batting .514 coming into action today?
I think I mentioned it yesterday in the previous game between these two. And Brooklyn Pillar has made quite a case to Coach Flaws that she needs to be starting, and evidently he has heard her argument and put her back in the lineup here in the biggest games of the state tournament. And she has come through. She had a couple of hits yesterday against Wahlert, a hit on Monday against Albia. Ground ball to short. That is easy. Underhand flip to second. And that ends the inning. So the 2-out error, nothing happens with it. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, and we're in that spot where Wahlert could win it with 2. Let's see if they get it done. Coming up next on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Looks like another perfect day to get out there and enjoy the summer.
Forward push gets in the car. It's easy to choose.
Iowa State Fair, August 13th through the 23rd.
With Trent Condon, Daniel Versteg, here on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Glad you're with us. Wahlert Catholic trying to put the finishing touches on advancing back to the championship game as Lily Oberhofer takes low to open the 4th. Again, we're in a spot where the run rule is imminent, potentially. 2 runs for Wahlert in the bottom of the 4th would get the job done, or get to the top of the 5th and get 3 outs. Well, they might do the former as a base hit sent up the middle. Oberhofer gets the party started with a single into center in the 4th.
And Oberhofer was one of the few Wahlert players that hadn't reached base so far in this one, and changed that with that swing.
Yeah, she was 0 for 2. She had hit one hard to short earlier. Now Oberhofer will be courtesy run for her. And this will be Quinn Mattil who will run at first base for the Golden Eagles.
Courtesy runner at first base.
That is an IMT Insurance pinch runner, courtesy runner, so to speak. Right now you can be worry-free with IMT by visiting IMTINS.com.
And to finish that point, Oberhofer was the last player to reach. As all 8 other players had already reached so far for Wahlert, and just a dominating performance.
You can't say anything more right now. This Wahlert team has absolutely put on a clinic from an offensive standpoint. They've been patient. They've been aggressive. They've showed power. They've showed speed. They are certainly making the argument that the championship might be already kind of in their hands. They've been playing some of the best softball, and they might go in there without a loss if things hold in this game. There's a punt. Right back to the pitcher. Oh, it's mishandled. It rolls vacantly in the infield, and runners are on first and second. Nobody out. And that'll bring up Ari McClyman, the right fielder. So they'll give Brocious there a bunt hit. 2 on, nobody out for Ari McClyman. And so now the situation, if Wallert's runner at first, Claire Brocious, comes around to score behind Mattil, this ball game will end in the 4th. This is a high fly, deep left center. Schnell back on it, still back, makes the catch. Now Mattil tags from second. Throw comes into third, and it is late. Now going to second on the bobbled throw is Claire Brocious. And those game-ending run rule runs are in scoring position for the top of the order. And wouldn't it be fitting for Julia Roth?
3 at-bats, 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles, a home run. And Coach Flaws wants to talk to the squad.
Yeah, that's might be a conversation. They might put her on here as well. Of course, wouldn't be the first time that Julia Roth's been intentionally walked. Coming into the state tournament, she had been walked 37 times this season. And I would not be surprised if more than half of those were an intentional walk. Yep, there's the 4 fingers, and James Flaws puts Julia Roth on.
I think the first intentional walk that I have seen here at the state tournament.
Oh, yeah?
Seen the unintentional intentional walk a couple of times.
Yep. There was one last night, PCM Williamsburg. Libby Winters, who had been 2 for 3, was intentionally walked with 2 outs in the 7th for PCM. Nobody on in that situation either, so. But here's Ruth Tauber, so the point you made earlier, intentionally walk Roth, and you still got to face Tauber. She can win it with a base hit. 2 runs come around to score. And Ruth Tauber takes a strike. A walk, a hit. Tauber's reached on an error as well. Absolute clinic from the Wahlert offense with the game-ending run at second. That is in the dirt. So, assuming this holds true and the trajectory of it looks like it will, Wahlert will play in the championship game for the 2nd year in a row.
Their toughest tussle came back in the regional final against Osage. That was 3-2 in the 6th. Green Devils had a couple of runners in scoring position in that 6th inning.
The fighting Trent Condons, if you will.
That was a long, long time ago.
Wahlert ended up winning that game 6-2, and a bit of a late spurt. 2-1 here to Tauber. The pitch. Fly ball left center. Deep run. Schnell, it's down. Here comes Mattil. Brocious rounds third. And Wahlert Catholic shows out in a big way. The Golden Eagles advance to the championship game for the second year in a row with a dominating 13-3 win in 4 innings.
That was eye-opening. You fall behind 3-0 right away. You know you have that cushion. If you lose, you can come back. You can come back with your ace. And they said, no, not so fast. They put it on up and down the lineup. Everybody is helping out in a big-time way. That is a team performance and a great win for Wahlert.
Whoever comes out of Mount Vernon and Williamsburg, they better be ready to go on Friday night, because Wahlert Catholic might be the hottest softball team in the state right now. Absolutely decimating Van Meter, 13-3 here in this state tournament competition. The Bulldogs eliminated, and then there were 3 in Class 3A. Wahlert Catholic will play in the championship game, and they present the trophy here to Van Meter as the Bulldogs conclude their season at the state tournament. Another great season, but Van Meter will not play in the championship game for the first time in 4 years. 2-time defending champs. They were a runner-up in 2023, and they missed the championship game for the first time since 2022. But what a great run this Bulldog team has had.
No doubt about it, and a lot of hope for the future as well. We talked about the youth up and down this lineup. Both their top 2 pitchers are going to be back next year. Number of starters back as well. Building block and a learning experience against a very veteran Wahlert team here. And they know to get that next step, to do it at the 3A level, there's work that needs to be done in the offseason, but they're incredibly close.
They will be ready to go. You know, Coach Flaws will have them ready to go. And Wahlert Catholic, the Golden Eagles, play in the championship on Friday night at 5 o'clock. And worth noting that championship game will be played on Channel Seeds Field coming up Friday. Those championships on the diamond that is hosting the 4A games here throughout the state tournament. But Class 3A state tournament is not complete yet. We still have one more finalist to figure out. We're going to do that starting at 5:30. It's Williamsburg and Mount Vernon. Both teams have now beaten each other here at the state tournament. And the winner of this game plays Wahlert in the title. We'll have that for you coming up at 5:30. Until then, for all of us on the Girls Union Digital Network, for Trent Condon, I'm Daniel Versteg. Thanks for watching the State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau with live coverage on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Oh.